what of all his talk about truth?
America's ideal of freedom is truth.
Electronic hypnosis.
We're seeing this blossoming of amateur cultures of video remix and creativity, and you're seeing a lot of this work being circulated on the internet.
I have no idea.
Copyright law is all about balance, giving copyright owners reasonable protection while assuring creators' ability to make new work using old culture. Fair use protects that ability to create, and it also provides a safeguard against censorship, not official censorship, but private censorship by copyright. Fair use is a right, and as the Supreme Court has recognized, it's rooted in the First Amendment. But like any right, its reality depends on its exercise. We must use it or risk losing it.
Codes of best practices help people understand what's fair, what's reasonable, what's normal in their field. And that's why it works so well for fair use, because fair use is about reasoning and logic. It's not about just following the rules. And other organizations, other communities have developed codes of best practices in fair use. Documentarians, media literacy teachers, and they found that it made a tremendous difference, that it was liberating for their practice.
It's really imperative that people have a sense of what the rules, norms, guidelines are for how they can reuse commercial media. And that's why something like the Code of Best Practices for online video is so important, because it provides guidelines for everyday and amateur creators.
If somebody does try to remove your content, the Best Practices Guide will help you figure out how to respond. So for instance, you get a takedown notice, the Best Practices Guide will help you figure out if you're likely to be protected by fair use. It does this by giving you specific types of situations where fair use is likely to protect you, and limitations so you don't go overboard and go outside these boundaries. So it tells you, for instance, if you're using copyrighted content to comment on it or critique it, that's generally fine, so long as you don't use so much that your work becomes a substitute for the original. Likewise, it tells you that you can use copyrighted content to illustrate your point, but you shouldn't use more than you need to illustrate your point. So by giving you these specific categories, these specific types of situations, it helps you map what you did to common fair use principles, while also giving you some limitations to make sure you don't float outside these boundaries and go overboard.
Quantum of Solace. And if you think that title's convoluted, wait until you see this movie.
They pretty much stole whole hog the pacing of the Bourne Identity movies. We're running from something. We're, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
No, I'm not going to give you the latest pronouncements from Al Gore on the subject of climate change. Al's not a scientist, and neither are these guys. However well-meaning they may be, most environmental activists don't know a schist from Shinola. And the same goes for climate prognosticators like Rush Limbaugh and Paul Harvey. This video is about science.
Your phone service. Cable's ragtag dreamers made America a better place.
I believe the government that governs best is the government that governs least, and by these standards we have set up a fabulous government in Iraq.
What does the emancipation of American women mean to you?
I know. Women's right to vote. Oh, my God. Talk about emancipation. Take the family wash, for instance.
At Faro High, Ramses was the biggest player around.
No doubt.
But when the new kid in school
I am a stranger in this strange land.
realized hanging with the in crowd wasn't so easy, he took a stand. 10 things I hate about commandments.
Code of best practices is not a blank check. You need to be sure that your use of copyrighted material is transformative, that the amount you use is proportional to your purpose, and that you always try to give credit to your sources.
Use the Code of Best Practices and Fair Use for online video and do something amazing.